Oh no, this is sad.
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nietzsche and infomaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group?
So you expelled Maurice from the reading group over an argument about turnips?
Well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
What's so bad about the Godwaldians?
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets. Typical Godwallers, in other words.
It's okay for Uli to say that because his dad is from Gottwald.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, no, yeah, I can say it. My dad is half black. I'm allowed to say it. Whew. What's so depressing about your other theories?
The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are incapable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself.
In other words, they have lost faith in their own relevance.
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide.
I'm down.
If it were, they wouldn't keep committing suicide.
What? That's an oversimplification, but fair.
You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who've read too many books.
Alright, what about the iconoclasts?
For starters, they love talking about beans.
This meeting was a mistake. What's wrong with beans? I like beans.
Oh, sure. But iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love counting beans. But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
I'm starting to think that beans is just a euphemism for money.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
Are the beans a metaphor?
If only. They've got all the beans accounted for in their asset sheets. Their quarterly budgets, their future projections. But for some reason, there are never enough beans to go around. So we've just got to cut our bean rations in half.
And next thing you know, there are budget cuts, so now we've got to cut the bean rations in half again. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets.
That really didn't explain anything at all. Are the liberals also liberals?
Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
Oh man! Oh shit! Ugh. Yo. They call themselves liberal, but they're basically neoliberal, so they're essentially like indistinguishable from fascists. Takes me right back to 2016. Holy fuck, that man. That hit me in a very, very specific zone. Ugh. Don't get me wrong. Like, we've got actual fascists running around. And that's not funny. But I do sort of get a kick out of the, like, overreactionary nature of the usage of the word when it's done tongue-in-cheek. For example, like, oh, you own your own home, so you're basically a fascist then. Indistinguishable. Is Cindy part of the group?
Cindy is... how to describe her role?
Like a bouncer?
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
She's an anarchist.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
An anarchist.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
Ow. Submit an essay made me laugh, but it was like all in my midsection, which is sore from doing exercise things. So that hurt.
That doesn't stop her from using a room for studio space, of course.
All right. Listen. I went to grad school, okay? I have seen these fucking rooms. This is real shit. And nothing does get done in those rooms. There's good thought work that gets done there, but it is mostly thought work. It's a lot of people who read books and theories for the first time and are being exposed to these ideas for the very first time and are trying to do something with all that information without all of the tools they really need to do that. I've heard enough.
Go ahead.
Are you accepting new members?
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics.
Tell me you're an unserious group without telling me you're an unserious group. Measuring your admission by semesters.
But given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
Steban, you can't be serious. For these gendarmes?
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, we still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process.
Oh, give me the interview portion.
Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
Quick question. Did you hang a guy even though we've basically answered all the questions about this now?
Lynching? No. We're not an operational cell.
Implying, of course, that there are other cells that are operational and those operations involve lynchings.
We think of ourselves as more of an intellectual vanguard.
Are you sure? My working theory is that communism killed the hangman.
To be clear, communism is not an official suspect in this investigation, because it's not a person, you see.
Thank you, Kim.
Seems unlikely from a strictly inframaterialist perspective.
They're into entertaining the idea, though.
Comrade Ulix is right. The amount of plasm required to strike down an ideological enemy outright is enormous. We're talking second-level effects, at a minimum.
Or even third.
In any case, it's not like the SRV has established a party line on the subject of lynchings in Martinez.
Though historically speaking, the SRV has supported direct action against right-wing paramilitary squads, especially when they are doing the Indo-Tribe's dirty work.
Good point. So as a provisional matter, I can say we support it.
It's not that the boundary between sarcasm and sincerity is porous with these two. It's that they actually seem to overlap as though one is meant to conceal the other.
What is your stance on crime in general?
That's easy. Crime is simply the inevitable expression of the injustice and incoherence embedded within capitalism itself.
Okay. Okay, sure, uh-huh.
Delivered with the smug assurance of a schoolboy reciting a maxim he's committed to memory.
Yeah, okay. It's coherent because it's not original thought.
It's a symptom, in other words, not a cause.
His companion can barely suppress a yawn.
Are you affiliated with the Union somehow?
No, we're an independent organization. We acknowledge and respect the Union's efforts, but our interests are more theoretical than Mr. Clare's.
Are there any operational communists in Martinez?
No, unfortunately. The communards were hunted down and killed nearly to a man. All that's left of them are bones and old rifles.
That's too bad.
It's a world historical nightmare, one from which we've yet to awaken.
A moment of silence. They're waiting for you to speak.
Run it.
Is it getting warm in here? There seems to be a little pool of sweat forming in the depression of your lower back.
I'm not nervous, I'm a superstar.
Oh, totally. A superstar breaking out in a cold sweat.
It's because I don't do well in interviews.
No, you're terrible at them. The thought of everyone looking at you, judging you, makes you want to heave, frankly.
I thought I had my shit together.
You did. You must be extremely nervous for some reason.
Definitely not sweating, I'm fine.
Excellent work. Now there's a dark handprint on the back of your shirt. Everyone will be able to see the evidence of your overactive sweat glands.
They're just a couple of kids.
Let's be frank. They're probably way smarter than you. You bet they've read more books than you can even name. The hardest part will just be working up the nerve to ask without soiling yourself.
Everything all right, gendarme? You look a little green about the gills.
Alright, that's enough for tonight. Will you still be here if I have more questions?
Sure, we're here most every night. Maybe we'll catch you again.
Sleep well, gendarme.
One moment. I need to boost some communist composure here. Yeah, that's my shit. I feel as though composure will be a good thing to have later on, so... Although, having said that, I don't know what later on really consists of in this case. We literally could have 20 hours left of this game or 2, and I wouldn't know the difference. No war but class war. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. A reflective... I'll take that. I will take a reflective construction vest for some reason.
The gendarme returns. What do you need?
What's with the paint stuff?
That's Cindy's stuff. She just sort of moved it all in a few months ago.
She said if she's going to make truly radical art, she needs a suitably radical workspace.
And I don't think she could afford rent at an actual studio.
That's fair. Do you like it?
Oh, sure. It's definitely interesting, I would say.
That doesn't mean you like it.
Interesting. Isn't that just binoclard for I don't have a real opinion?
I thought interesting was what people said when they don't have anything real to add.
His companion's eyes widen with interest. He has a cold smile. If this is what the Union man meant by theory combat, You've just scored a decisive blow.
Come on. It's not that I don't have anything to say about Cindy's art. It's more that I'm still working out the details. It's a complex question. You've got to take your time with it.
Thank you for that reaction speed. I appreciate you.
I guess you could call her latest stuff a sort of counter-bourgeoisie calligraphy. She's got a real taste for radical slogans.
It's too bad she hasn't developed the theoretical foundation to do truly radical work.
I think she'll get there, though. She's still looking for a subject equal to her ambitions.
What is the deal with this place?
The deal? At a fundamental level, I guess you could call it the shattered bones of a dream crushed by capital.
This is becoming exhausting.
That's really good, Steban. You should save that for an essay.
Thanks, Uli. When the idea is sound, the words just sort of flow.
Okay, but what is this place?
It's an old construction site. They've been trying to restore these apartments for years. But as you can see, they haven't made much progress.
His friend yawns, evidently bored by literal reality.
Let's move on.
Go ahead.
What is this place? All right. We've boosted our odds. We're a somewhat bookish toad. Let's hit it.
Take a deep breath. You've done some reading these past few days.
That's a lie.
But you also know there's more to life than what you find in books.
We've done very, very little reading on this topic.
You've survived things these kids can't even imagine. They've got nothing on you.
Damn. We passed it with room to spare.
Now, chin up. You've got this.
Yeah, get physical. Let's do this interview.
Oh, you want to start now? Sure, we can manage that.
Oh, they're not ready. They're not prepared for this.
You've caught him off balance. The momentum is already in your favor.
Yeah, let's go.
Go ahead and take a seat. Since we haven't had time to prepare an exhaustive questionnaire, I think we can keep this interview more freeform.
Oh, I can't wait.
Why don't you tell us a bit about the books you're interested in? And we'll just see where the conversation goes.
Look, guys, I gotta be honest. I may not have read many books, but that doesn't mean I don't have stories.
Okay, we'll bite. What sort of stories are we talking about?
You ever hear of a thing called sudden onset acute amnesia?
Oh, we're getting into the psychiatric pathologies of life under capital. Let's see where this goes.
We could say literally anything. Del and friends, hello! Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Communism Club. We're talking about communism with the Communism Club. We're undergoing an interview to join the Communism Club. With Steban, the student communist. No, we can't call it a book club. They'll get mad. It's very serious business. They make you do essays and homework. I came in and it was like, is this the communist meeting? And they were like, did you do the reading? And I was like, oh no. Oh no, it sucks. Hi everyone from Dell's stream. I'm Time Wanderer. Dell and I are good friends. We've been good stream friends for a long time. She probably tried to describe what the hell I do on my stream and had a hard time with it. We've discussed this before. I play whatever random stuff comes to mind. I've been playing Disco Elysium because it's a very interesting game. Really thought-provoking. But yesterday I played a McDonald's game about Grimace skateboarding and picking up milkshakes. And, you know, sometime next week we'll be playing Dokapon Kingdom. We're a little low on the trigger warnings right now. There was some stuff about like sexual assault earlier that got a little rough, But right now, we're just hanging out with a couple of loser communist kids. We're just having some theory discussions with some kids who don't really know what they're talking about. We're currently undertaking an interview to join the Communist Club. Oh, thank you, friend. I appreciate you.
Yes, I'm rather curious myself.
Kim is also here. Kim does not want to be a communist, but he just kind of tags along with whatever I do because he's a cool guy like that.
You've got them. They're starting to loosen up. You're relaxed and in control. You deftly weave every piece of the story together.
Really? Because we don't even have every piece of the story.
I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like to wake up with no concept of what money is.
That's the takeaway?
If you encountered it in a novel, you'd say it sounded like a plot contrivance or like a fantasy.
But isn't the point that money is, in itself, just a collective fantasy?
Perhaps. But it's a fantasy that pays for things. Like your hostel bill.
My dude, I don't stay in a hostel. I stay in a shack down by the river. And it's honestly nicer than the hostel. By like a lot.
No, it's just like Mazovian. The freeman of the future will be he who awakens in perfect ignorance of capital.
Wait, Steban, are you saying the gendarme is some kind of future communist?
That's the best thing anyone has said about me in the entire game, including myself.
Another quarter of an hour disappears. The conversation bounces back and forth. Whatever their pretensions, it's clear these two have been craving something real. Now you can sense things starting to slow down. Time to wrap this tale up.
And anyway, even if you could somehow unpeel time, it wouldn't be the you who gets rich from those investments.
But that would imply that whenever you unpeel time, you leave behind some kind of doppelganger in now time.
Yeah. That.
Good God. Have we really been talking about unpeeling time for a quarter hour?
What do you mean? Has it only been a quarter hour?
I suppose we'll have to leave it there. But listen, gendarme. We could use someone with your breadth of expertise. With just a little more theoretical background, I think you'll be able to make some real contributions.
Do I have to submit an essay?
Yes, I would say he's got serious potential at least.
And with that, welcome to the most ideologically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez. Here's your first assignment. It's an overview of inframaterialist theory. A little basic, as you'll see, but one has to start somewhere.
I will add it to my very extensive reading list.
You're going to fit right in, I think. Come back when you're done. We'll be here pretty much every night after 10 p.m. Do be sure to take your time with the reading. We'll be eager to hear your thoughts.
Well, that was a... We already determined who took your jacket. It was me. I broke into your apartment and took your jacket, and then you let me join your reading group. Hi, Cindy.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
No, I just thought you'd have something to say about me going... Bye. Yeah, Actually, I agree, Teller, and I kind of think that's on purpose. You know, it's been a minute. While I'm over here, do I have anything new to talk to Joyce about?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
For those who aren't familiar with Disco Elysium, the short version is that you are an absolute colossal fuck up of a cop who is trying to undo the damage that you have already done before the game started to yourself and your surroundings, to get your shit together and solve a murder. But also learn fundamental things about reality. And recover basic police things like your police badge and your police gun. One of which we found. And one of which is probably being held ransom by a corrupt union boss.
By love, you did.
Fast, observantly, like an electronic printer.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious.
That's not my name.
What can I help you with, Lieutenant Freighter?
That's... You mean Lieutenant W. Freighter Cousteau. Thank you very much. Also, we've already been over all this, but... Finding my badge would have, Finding my badge would have unlocked dialogue options, but we already got those. Alright, it's... You're still here?
Hi again, Gendarme. Bye-bye, Gendarme.
Alright, well... Harry's rank is interesting.
Yes?
I didn't know this was a thing. I have big news, Kim. I don't care if I'm gay or not.
Okay.
I have managed to stop obsessing about my sexuality.
Great. Imagine all the time you'll have for work now. Matter of fact, we should get back to it right now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just one thing, though.
What?
I don't know what I expected. Look at his face. Look at his face. Stoic. Kind yet judgmental. Nice. Also, didn't you just hit 68 like 2 days ago? No, it was yesterday. that mean I've been doing this shit for like 6 years? Whew. Kim, I have to ask for the content. I'm sorry.
You didn't stop at all, did you? You are just obsessing about other people's sexuality now.
Oh god, you're right. Oh no. That was a success. That was a success from reaction speed. Oh, we did miss giving Dell a shout out. Thank you. Yeah, but...
But am I? I'll spare you another 20-hour mine project. Yes, I am. Now let's get back to work.
Okay. Cool. Oh. Oh, it's very dark now. Oh, it's just as dark as before. It's just darker over by the stairs. Alright, then. Didn't I already do this? Hold on a sec. I was gonna warp over and go to sleep, but is there a visual Kuno, what are you still doing here?
Fuck does Kuno care?
Fair enough.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Yeah, no, that does actually answer the question, to be honest.
What do you see?
Oh, there's more stuff. Also, it wasn't in the back of the whirling.
I don't know. They're about the same size. Not the same boot, no, but they could be the same person. It still doesn't rule Ruby out. People change shows, after all. But this isn't an argument for her guilt either.
No horizontal boot prints. Whoever walked in the Whirling's pinball workshop didn't walk here.
No. These prints are pretty standard. The ones in the dust looked custom. Or maybe they're just a foreign design. It's a boot print, whatever the case.
We've been through all of it. Okay, anyway. To the From here, then? To the shacks! I'm sorry, Kim, you really didn't have to follow me over here.
It's getting cold. This late in the night. Time to call it a day.
Good night, Kim.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
Time for some light reading before bed. I feel like this is going to hurt me.
The cover of this pocket-sized volume features a swirl of orange, yellow, and green. The title, A Brief Look at Inframaterialism, is set in an authoritative yet approachable serif font.
Uh-huh.
On the inside jacket flap, you find a brief summary. What is inframaterialism? A highly theoretical branch of Mazovian communism? A collection of mystical ramblings by a discredited revolutionary? Or possibly both? This brief look, TM, introduces readers to one of this century's most fascinating and misunderstood theories in a concise, jargon-free manner.
This feels like kid stuff. Is there no slightly longer glance TM series?
The back of the book contains 4 or 5 pages of primary and secondary sources, but you need access to a university library to find most of them.
Feel like we're not gonna find one of those in this game.
In other words, this guide is the only source you're likely to find.
Yeah.
You turn to the table of contents. The guide itself is divided into several sections with seemingly esoteric titles like Effects of Plasm on Root Vegetables and Mental Projection and Transference. There's also a brief introduction about the life of Ignis Nielsen.
Let's read the introduction.
Known to his numerous admirers as the evangelist of the revolution, and to his even more numerous enemies as the apocalyptic Shrike, Ignis Nielsen remains one of the most controversial and fascinating figures to emerge in the years of the anti-centennial revolution, second only to Kraz Mazov himself. During his unparalleled life, he helped guide a revolution in one country and found a new state in another. Along the way, he committed some of the most notorious war crimes in an era famed for its atrocities. And yet, his most fascinating contribution to history may be the most overlooked. His theory of ideological plasm, from which his followers and successors developed the school of communism known as inframaterialism.
All right, first chapter, let's go.
If you're like most people, you probably believe that your thoughts reside in your brain, right?
Sure.
Completely backwards. You think with your hands. Always have.
No. Honestly, I have no idea where some of these thoughts come from.
This sounds more like a question for a psychiatrist. See also a brief look at psychiatry. But let's stick with Ignis Nielsen a moment. As Mazov's devoted comrade and leading theoretician, Nielsen was responsible for developing much of the intellectual foundation of communism. But his interests and speculations were famously wide-ranging. During his final years in exile, he produced, among other things, an early guide to home brewing, instructions for raising revolutionary children, plans for a universal pictographic language, and a detailed materialist critique of Dolores Day's chess strategy.
Okay.
But one subject he returned to time and time again was the fundamental relationship between thoughts and matter. We may yet discover, he wrote in his notebooks, that under certain exceptional circumstances, the proletariat's embrace of historical materialism may be so fervent that their beliefs take form in the world of matter as a kind of revolutionary plasm.
I get it, but put it in more basic terms for the content.
Certainly, in essence, Nielsen is arguing that thoughts don't just reside inside the brain, they radiate outward from it. According to this idea, the brain is an ideological transponder, constantly emitting waves of highly politicized energy, which Nielsen called plasm.
Okay.
Stay with us a moment longer. What's more, Nielsen speculated that this plasm, when it becomes powerful enough, might begin to influence the material reality surrounding it. Hence the name, inframaterialism. Unfortunately, Nielsen passed away before he was able to develop these initial ideas into a full-fledged theory. That work was left to subsequent generations of communist theorists. Building on Nielsen's basic insight, these theorists reached a startling conclusion that a sufficiently revolutionary state might begin to exhibit certain extra-physical effects based on the amount of plasm generated by its citizens.
So this isn't even Nielsen's theory, it's its followers?
Correct. Though certain particulars of the theory are commonly attributed to Nielsen himself, the evidentiary basis of those attributions has always been a point of contention between inframaterialists and their critics.
So people are saying that if enough people just believe in communism, it will come true?
The actual theory is highly technical, but for the purposes of this brief look, TM, that's a fine working definition of the concept. That's because this is absolute idiocy, not even worth engaging with.
All right, let's hear about this extra-physical stuff.
Inframaterialists divide the extra-physical effects of the revolutionary state by the level of plasm required to achieve them.
Uh-huh.
At the lowest, or first level, revolutionary plasm is believed to stimulate or invigorate matter without altering its essential properties.
Like the business with the turnips.
Precisely, though plasm does more than increase vegetable yields. It may also influence the physiology of revolutionaries themselves. It's also been postulated that plasm may
Doing it
account for
right
the
now!
remarkably full and manly facial hair observed on some communist males.
Stroke it. Stroke it.
Your hand feels clammy against your bare chin. You wipe it along the back of the book and keep reading.
Oh no, I shaved. I shaved in this very room.
Of course, inframaterialists argue that revolutionary plasm may stimulate human physiology in other ways as well. Oh yeah, we're talking about white-hot communist sex, baby.
Thank you, electrochemistry.
That's correct. Reports from the revolutionary period claim that the most radically devoted communards were able to engage in vigorous intercourse for up to 8 hours at a time. 8 hours? There's no way. Your equipment would be mashed to jelly.
Endurance is like, nah. Oh, that's a big fail.
No wonder the communards couldn't shoot straight. They were too shagged out. And on that note, you feel like you've gotten the general idea of inframaterialism.
Have we?
Enough to carry on a basic conversation, at least. But if you'd like to go even deeper into some of the more speculative aspects of the theory, you could always read further. The book fits quite snugly into your palm. It would also fit comfortably into a jacket pocket.
Continue. Give me more of this dumb shit.
You flip forward a few pages until you come upon a chapter titled Mental Projection and Transference. When a community has achieved a sufficiently high degree of revolutionary fervor, inframaterialists believe that second-level effects may be observed. At this second level, certain hyper-revolutionary individuals may even develop the ability to extend their thoughts into material space and vice versa.
So communists can become mind readers. They develop telepathic powers.
According to inframaterialist theory, yes. Under suitably revolutionary conditions, that is.
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
It's become something of a folk legend that during their final meeting, Nielsen and Mazov didn't speak a single word, preferring to sit in silence with their chamomile tea, reading one another's thoughts.
That's probably not what happened.
One of the minor tragedies of the late revolutionary period is that few reliable accounts survive. Much of what we know of the communards' activities during this period come from memoirs and second-hand accounts, some only written down decades after the fact, and of dubious authenticity.
Why do these effects only work for hyper-revolutionary communists?
Because plasm has never been directly observed, the exact mechanism behind these effects remains entirely speculative.
No. Tell her. This is... I'm not gonna say it's worse than Measurehead shit, because Measurehead shit is pretty reprehensible. But it is dumber. Because you know what this is? This is the cryptozoologist shit. This is cryptozoology, but for communist mind powers. Being a communist makes you fuck good and have cool hair and your crops are better and you get psychic powers. Maybe communists are cryptids. That's why no one can find a real one.
In other words, there's no evidence that any of this mind-reading stuff is real.
If there's no evidence plasm exists, how can the theory be true?
Most inframaterialists would argue that the inability of skeptics to detect plasm is simply evidence of their own insufficient revolutionary enthusiasm.
The Emperor has no clothes. The Emperor has no clothes. It's there, you're just not good enough to see it. Also, it's true because you can't prove a negative.
There you have it, a perfectly unfalsifiable loop. The theory is impossible to disprove on its own grounds. Meaning, it's hardly a theory at all.
That's right.
This should be more than enough for a stimulating discussion. That said, if you're still yearning for more, you breeze through the next several sections until you arrive at the final chapter, titled A Communism Above Reality.
Where did that level come from? Oh! I know where it came from. It came from here. Choosing to continue reading the book is a left-wing dialogue option. The final chapter, A Communism Above Reality. Yes, above reality, because it does not exist within reality and cannot be obtained.
When a society's revolutionary fervor reaches the third and highest level, inframaterialist theoreticians have postulated that the laws of physics cease to be laws.
No! What do the laws of physics become then?
More like suggestions, according to some of the SRV's leading inframaterialists. Of course, it's impossible to say what exactly happens under these conditions. No known society has ever achieved the levels of revolutionary enthusiasm the theory seems to require.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Some inframaterialists have even argued that it might require more plasm than humanity alone may be capable of producing.
Are there non-human sources of communist fervor?
In the SRV, there have been attempts to organize certain species of aquatic mammals, as well as a few of the higher corvids.
Oh my god, it's like John C. Lilly with the dolphins, only he's trying to make them communists instead of just putting them on drugs.
But, as of this writing, only human beings have demonstrated the intellectual capacity for revolutionary communism.
Has anyone ever gotten close to reaching the third level?
There are numerous stories from Samara involving bandits or fascist mercenaries being levitated by farmers from the most ideologically advanced communes. Of course, few of these incidents have ever been rigorously investigated or substantiated.
Stories, huh?
Among known attempts to channel third-level capabilities, the most well-documented is the curious case of Coalition warship Debutante.
I gotta know what that's about.
It concerns an interesting series of events that took place during the invasion of Revachol. As Coalition forces made landfall, a cadre of Nielsen's most fervent acolytes attempted to compress a Coalition aerostatic with their collective will.
Okay.
According to Communard law, these acolytes positioned themselves at the top of a redoubt just over the bay of Revachol. From that vantage, they proceeded to visualize pinching Coalition warship Debutante between their fingers, a gesture believed to assist in the extra-physical materialization of their thoughts.
Should've used some finger pistols.
There's no evidence the Communards were equipped with finger pistols, though it's unlikely they would have decisively altered the outcome. The acolytes, along with the redoubt, were vaporized in an artillery strike before the process could be completed.
Vaporized is exactly the right word to use here.
Picture the lot of them, all standing with their fingers in the air 1 minute, the next reduced to a bloody mist. It's been said, though, that in the weeks following the battle, the captain of the debutante noted an increase in incidents of crewmen striking their heads on unexpectedly low bulkheads.
Oh, wow. It's been said. People are saying.
Of course, colorful anecdotes only scratch the surface of what inframaterialists believe may be possible in a truly third-level society.
Like what, for instance?
Some have theorized that such a society would be fundamentally unrecognizable, lacking many of the institutions we typically take for granted in advanced societies, including organized governments, financial institutions, and law enforcement.
Uh-huh.
Others have argued that people living under third-level conditions will be immune to such infirmities as hunger, disease, and mental illness.
We'll all just eat air and sunlight.
In some of his later writings, Nielsen himself speculated about the potential for an extra-physical architecture that disregards the laws of bourgeois physics and instead relies on the revolutionary faith of the people for structural integrity.
That seems like a bad theory to design buildings on.
Nielsen called it the highest expression of communist principles, a society whose literal foundation is the faith of its people. On the following page, you come across a few black and white reproductions from Nielsen's own notebooks. One sketch depicts a government ministry shaped like a great inverted pyramid, a hectare in width at the top, balanced atop foundations the size of common apartments. Another depicts a leaning tower wrapped in a dramatic helix. The caption beneath it reads, "The Tower of History." Something about that tower looks awfully familiar. Could it be that's what the students were trying to recreate with the matchboxes?
What if the people stop believing in the building's collapse?
In the corner of one of the reproduced notebook pages, you can make out the following words, written in Nielsen's distinctive slashing script. A state that has lost the faith of its people has forfeited the right to exist.
Plausible or not, there's something beautiful about the idea. Is there any more? Give me some more. Give me more.
There is
Give me
no
more.
more. You've reached the outer theoretical limits of communism, and in less than 200 pages.
Oh.
If you'd like to read further, may we recommend a brief look at Occidental architecture?
That doesn't seem the same at all. That's enough communism for me, thanks.